Insurance and Money Podcast. What's up, guys? Listen, we're talking about rebuilding your business and life after the hurricane, okay? After hurricanes, the business of rebuilding lives means navigating the insurance claims process, okay? Article by the Associated Press. Let's get into it. Let's touch on some things. Now that the threat of Hurricane Helene and Milton have receded, millions of homeowners and business owners across Florida and the southeastern U.S. are faced with traversing the often long and laborious process of using insurance to rebuild their lives. And at least they have insurance, right? Might be a process, but you have it. That means a check is coming, right? You're traumatized when you have these losses. At some point, you're just glad you're alive, said Don Hornstein, an insurance law expert at the University of North Carolina. And then you have to turn to the business side of this, and it's tough. So what he's saying is these people are taking personal losses, but now they got to put their business hat on so they can work on settling these claims and getting a check to rebuild these lives and move forward, okay? Helene was a Category 4 storm that first struck Florida's Gulf Coast on September 26, dumped trillions of gallons of rain, and left a trail of destruction for hundreds of miles across several states. At least 246 people have died in what is now the deadliest hurricane to hit the mainland since Katrina, is what they're saying, according to statistics. 2 weeks later, Hurricane Milton swept across Florida, killing at least 11 people. The Category 3 storm destroyed coastal communities, tore apart homes, filled streets with mud, and spawned a barrage of deadly tornadoes. Okay? People are still trying to get through this. The combined private insured losses from the two hurricanes could reach $55 billion with a B. $55 billion, according to risk management firm Moody's RMS. Immediately after disasters like these, property insurance is likely not top of mind as people secure their safety and basic needs, which is understandable. But insurance claims are part of the process of resetting. Many buy the policies in hopes they can help protect them when disaster strikes, but oftentimes insurance doesn't cover what the policyholder thinks it does or thinks it should. And this is why I always say, if you're getting insurance, I don't care if it's car insurance, make sure you know what it is that you want that policy to say. Okay? There is no rush to put that policy together. You make sure when you're working with your agent, that policy covers everything you would lose sleep over. Now, mind you, you will have to pay for certain types of coverage, but don't skip out. What happens when you cut corners? You become a donut. Don't be a donut. So pay the cost, because you never know when disaster strikes and you need that check, right? So Rhonda Merriam, who turns 86 this month, says she doesn't have a lot of faith that insurance companies will help her salvage the flooded rental homes she owns in the river town of Schenectady in Florida's Big Bend. She says, I usually get zip with these things, Merriam said. Was I insured for that? No, sorry, you weren't. And it goes on and on. So I don't put a whole lot of confidence in it. What she's saying is she's been through these storms so much and had to deal with insurance companies that they always tell her that she's not covered for certain things that she thinks she has coverage for. And this is what I'm talking about. You don't want to think, you want to know. Sit down with your insurance person. I don't care if you got to eat lunch at their desk. Y'all do not leave that desk or get off that phone until you are covered the way you think you need to be covered. Stop calling people up. Stop trying to use AI and these quickie fix things, trying to get real life coverage for real situations, but you want it so quick because you got other things to do, like sit on the couch. Some things you have to take your time. You want to use your noodle. You want to think about it. Be thoughtful. You want to walk through it. You want to read. Don't just check the box that you accept terms and conditions. Read the contract, okay? Because that's what it is. Insurance will only pay what's in the contract. This is why they tell you it's not covered, because it wasn't in the contract. Stop getting these quickie policies just to say, oh, I'm good, I'm covered, I got insurance, until you find out you don't. Enough on that. But that's so important. I could say this I could do 1,000 YouTube videos just off that one statement. You think you're covered until you're not, because you don't read, you don't ask questions. You got to be engaged, got to be involved, right? Maren said she wasn't sure about the details of her insurance policies, and she'll be relying on her son to help her navigate the process. She wasn't sure about the details, but that's an honest statement. Here are some of the steps home and business owners should keep in mind when filing an insurance claim after a natural disaster. Number one, act fast, do the math. All right. After an immediate emergency response, the first thing a homeowner or business owner should do is call their insurance agent or broker. The deadline to file a claim is generally about 60 days from the date of the loss. Okay, you're on the clock, tick tock, you're on the clock. Okay, there are different types of policies that insure against damage. In the initial call, first focus on thoroughly understanding your policy. Okay, including coverage limits, deductibles, and exclusions. Guys, insurance policies have coverage, but some insurance policies also have what's called exclusions, meaning they tell you up front, you're not covered for this. You're not covered for that. These are what's called exclusions. Please take time when you're with your insurance agent or broker to understand this stuff. All right? So that you do rough calculations of what is covered and what deductibles are at play to decide if you should file a claim. Because some things you go through, you don't want to file a claim. It might be better not to file a claim, but that's not what we're talking about here. Many policies have payouts and complicated percentage formulas. For example, if your roof is damaged, your policy may spell out different deductibles depending on the roofing material, the age of the roof, and even the wind speed from the damage event. And the percentage paid out may be based on the insured value versus cost of replacement. Remember I said that, insured value versus cost of replacement. Said Amy Bach, Executive Director of the Consumer Advocacy Group United Policy Holders. Okay, guys, when you do an insurance contract, you probably don't feel like you're going through mini law school, because that's what it is, because you want your money and these people want to keep money. Insurance companies love collecting monthly premiums and never having to pay it out. They will pay it out. I didn't say they wouldn't pay it out, but the business model would love to take in the money and not have to pay the money back. Okay? So they're not going to make it easy. So they're going to go by the contract. I know a lot of you like to live in a gray area, want people to feel bad, just give me a little break or a hookup. Insurance companies don't do that. They go by the letter of the contract. So all that hookup stuff, they ain't doing it. They ain't going to feel bad for you. All right? So have your paperwork right. Okay? While Helene was primarily a flood event, there may be disputes over what is or isn't wind-driven rain from Milton. Hornstein said the line between wind and water is a thin but very clear line that technical experts can determine. Look at this, guys. They are making it complicated. That's why we want to be smart when we go into the contract. Okay? Hornstein said the line between wind and water is a thin but very clear line that technical experts can determine. Should there be a proverbial tie, the law favors the insurance company. Listen to that. Should there be a tie, a proverbial tie, the law favors the insurance company. Okay? If the house was simultaneously destroyed by flood and concurrently by wind, it's not covered by private insurance. Listen to this. Let me give it to you one more again. If the house was simultaneously destroyed by flood and concurrently by wind, It's not covered by private insurance, Holstein said. Business owners should also check to see if they have business income or business interruption insurance. Now, I know you guys heard about business interruption insurance during the great pandemic, right? So we all were missing checks and needed the money. Couldn't work. They wouldn't let us go to work, right? Which covers the loss of income and other costs like expenses, salaries, or rent when a business is forced to close. I'll let y'all use your own thought on that one, okay? Now, here's another one. All the documents. This is what's checking on after a storm, after these natural events. To file a claim, keep track of and document everything. Okay? Before and after photos and videos are ideal to jog your memory of what's been lost and proof to help bolster settlement claims. Gotta help yourself out. For business owners, keeping a record of costs that are incurred after the hurricane is important too. You may have evacuation costs. You may have business shutdown interruption costs. You may have housing costs. You may have additional expenses that are unusual to your business. Okay? Once a claim is filed, the insurance company's adjuster, now you guys heard of these people, insurance adjusters, right? Will come to survey the damage, typically within a few days if conditions allow. Be responsive to adjusters and make sure they see and document, right? See and document the damage that you see. Do not let insurance adjusters just roll up, knock, knock, knock. I'm the adjuster. I'm just going to look at, the damage. You just go back in there and watch Steve Harvey and the Family Feud. I'll let you know when I'm done. Oh, hell no. You walk around, put your boots on. If you need a little construction hat and some goggles, some gloves, you go out there and walk around and you show that person, that adjuster, everything that you got on your heart, everything that you see wrong, and you make sure they document everything. Document. Come on, guys. You're watching Insurance and Money Podcast. You know how we do. It's all about the paperwork. Paperwork got to be right. Okay, moving on. While it's easy to get frustrated, adjusters are likely stressed too, said Lawrence White, an economics professor at NYU Stern of Business. Okay? To the maximum extent possible, try not to come across as angry. Now, I know that's going to be hard to do, but remember, you're trying to get that check. So sometimes you got to paint a face. You got to hold yourself together because you don't want to get combative with the adjuster. You want that person to be a partner in you getting the paperwork right? So you want to work with them, like calm your nerves for a minute and let's think about doing business so we get this check that we need, okay? Now, I'm going to say it again. To the maximum extent possible, try not to come across angry. Try to come across as reasonable. Very important. If there's disagreement or concern about the accuracy or fairness of the adjuster's report from the insurance company, property owners can consider hiring a public adjuster for a second opinion. Their own adjuster, now listen, public adjusters, your own adjuster can then lead the negotiations with the insurance company for you. Okay? First, however, owners should be aware of the fees the public adjusters charge and check their references. So some of you may not notice. You have insurance adjusters. You're used to that, okay? There's an accident. Somebody hit your car. They come out to your car. They look at the damage, tell you, this is the money we're going to pay you for your car. All right, this is how much damage. Okay, well, public adjusters are adjusters also, but they don't work for the insurance companies like the insurance adjusters. They work for you. They know what the insurance adjusters know. They got the same skill set. So they could sit here and say, hey, adjuster, you didn't check this. You didn't check that. See, you're not sophisticated enough to know the adjusting process and what's involved. But if you get another adjuster, it's adjuster versus adjuster. And they know the software, they know how to look at stuff, they know the calculations, they know everything. So if you feel like you're not being heard, if you feel like they're not talking enough money because you believe there's more damage, then you might need to get a public adjuster to represent you. All right? Now, the insurance companies have totally the upper hand, and when there's a public adjuster, it does level the playing field a lot for the consumer, having someone who speaks insurance and speaks damage. Yes, you need someone to speak for you. Now, let's talk about repair or lawyer up. I like to hope you don't have to get a lawyer. I really like to hope everyone just, follow the contract, pay what they need to pay, do what they need to do. But there are times you got to take it there. So be aware of the deadlines for accepting a payment offer or filing an appeal with the insurance company. Once you agree to an insurance payout, know that you can update the claim if more damage is discovered during the repairs though there may be deadlines for how long the homeowner has to reopen the claim. If the back and forth with the insurance company drags on, you may consider hiring an attorney to reach a settlement as a last resort. People, I am telling you, as a last resort. Please don't go in clubbing them with your attorney right out the gate. Let the process work a little bit, play itself out. Remember, we got to put that face on. We're doing business. We got to calm our nerves. Let the process play out. Then we consider later, should we get a lawyer? Okay? A dispute that ends up in arbitration could stretch out for a year or more. Remember, about 90% of all insurance claims are settled without escalating into a court fight, said Charles Neese, a professor of risk management and insurance at Florida State University College of Business. Now, other aid sources. Here we go. For those with little or no insurance, very important, there are government programs that can assist. The application process is similar to insurance claims, okay? Contact the agency, determine eligibility, and file your application. So you got to get with the government. Federal Emergency Management Agency, aka FEMA, right? Offers grants for home repair or replacement for applicants who meet certain conditions. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, aka HUD, okay, also offers certain grants that are available for hurricane survivors. Guys, got to know what's out there for you. Got to understand the laws. Can't be sleepy and whatnot. Now you got to, get out of that daily haze of Facebooking and, chilling out on the internet. Now you got to be a grown up and start reading this stuff. Because you got to get a roof on that house. You got to get doors and windows put back on. You got to get a safe, clean place for you and your family to live. So you got to get serious about this thing, right? Small Business Administration offers low interest loans to renters, homeowners, business owners, and nonprofits that suffered losses due to disaster. However, love that word, right? On Tuesday, that program ran out of money until its coffers are replenished by Congress. Hate to tell you this. This past Tuesday, they say they ran out of money, but the program exists. So you check in with your local people, with the SBA, and see what they're saying about Congress. Congress needs to open up some money to help these people out, which doesn't reconvene until November the 12th after the election. So you're on hold. The SBA said people should keep applying for loans. However, yes, always keep your paperwork in the system. Always apply. Even if you got to wait, get that paperwork started. I am telling you, do not be one of those last to get the paperwork and then they tell you they don't have enough funding anymore. I know a lot of you like to think America is just super rich and they got a credit card to swipe and they can just crank out money for you. You will find out that is not the case. And then you'll be saying stuff, I can't believe all the migrants got all the money and I can't believe everybody else got money, but I didn't get nothing. Get off your ass, get on the phone, and start learning how this stuff work and getting your paperwork right. All right. So we're not coming up with excuses and pissy about at everybody for this thing. All right. Listen, God bless everybody that's been through this thing. God bless everybody that has survived this thing. My prayers are with everyone. And I am just, I'm grateful to be able to be in this industry of insurance and also to be able to help provide insurance and money information to people to help people out. The moral of the story is we have to help each other out. So if you know something about paperwork and you know your neighbor doesn't know something about paperwork, knock on the door, have a cup of coffee and explain it to them. Help them so they can get their families back on track, all right? Don't be a gatekeeper and hoard the information. So let's help each other out. Let's put this thing together. Stay insured, stay smart, all right? Remember, America is a money game. You have to play this game whether you like it or not. And with every game, there are what? Rules to the game. All right. Stay smart, stay insured. I appreciate you guys. See you in the next video.